How's it going, everyone? I'd like to welcome you to the very first edition of Pro Peak. This is an interview series where I, Wyatt Brown, will be interviewing your favorite pros about the peaks in their careers. Now, not to confuse anybody, these riders still have plenty of time to keep these peaks going. These 10 questions will be based mostly around their past, but hopefully by the end of the interview, we'll get a little glimpse into their future. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first pro to be interviewed, Nolan Shoemaker. Nolan is a good friend of mine and more importantly, one of the top pro riders in our sport right now. Watching Nolan shape his riding into what it's become today has been nothing but a pleasure. I'm so stoked he took the time to do this interview for you guys, and I can't thank him enough. With that being said, let's get straight into our first question. Who are you? Where are you from? And when did you start scootering?
Yo, I'm Nolan Shoemaker. I'm from Chino Hills, California, and I've been scootering for 11 years.
So Nolan's obviously been in the game for quite some time now. He was born in and grew up around Chino Hills, California, home to the famous Ayala skate park. Having Big Chino as a local must have been insane, and I can't imagine some of the big name pros to pass through there over the years. Did you know that Chino technically didn't allow scooters in the park until a California law allowing all wheeled recreational devices to enter was passed in August of 2015? I can't even think about having that beauty of a park there and not being able to ride it without the threat of being kicked out by the cops. So glad the general public has smartened up since then and now allows all wheeled sports in most parks. Growing up on the West Coast, you were brought up around some pretty legendary dudes. Who did you look up to the most when first trying to make your name?
Yeah, man, growing up in Chino, there's definitely always legendary names pulling up to the skate park, but the three that I looked up to the most when I was first growing up and making a name for myself was Branson Smith, Ryland Smith, and Cam Ward.
Hell yeah, bro. Cam and the Smith brothers are definitely living legends in the scooter community. Having those guys around to watch and take notes off of must have been unreal. I can definitely see how you've taken their influence to shape part of your riding style. Every one of those guys, including yourself, has such smooth flow and can make even the hardest tricks look so easy. Chino has produced some monsters in all action sports and will continue to do so as long as the park stays around. I think we need to see a big Chino day edit of all the guys that grew up and threw down around there for years. Where is your favorite place scootering has brought you and why?
Favorite place my scooter has taken me is definitely gotta be Barcelona. I feel like that might be basic or a lot of people's answers, but the city is literally out of a video game and it's like perfect for riding scooters or skating or whatever you like to do.
Good old Barcelona. I'm so glad you picked this place because I'm sure many of us in the scootering world can agree. I'm convinced the city had to be made in a custom Skate 3 map and placed on the coast of Spain. Nah, for real though, there's a spot on every single block of the entire city. I'm not joking. It is truly like a video game in real life. I think so many scooter riders can relate to this answer because you're just cruising around looking for what you're going to film on the whole time, and at least for me, you're just in awe of your surroundings. There's truly no other place out there like Barcelona, and I think it'll always hold a special place in the hearts of people who love action sports. How many times have you been to the World Finals? And which was your favorite time that you can remember?
I think I've been to like 4 or 5 World Finals. The first one, that's the one where I basically made a name for myself and met all these dudes that are now my friends. So I feel like that's got to be my favorite one with the most memories. That was at Rush Skate Park in 2014. That's when Clayton did the Buttercup drop-in and became the Tornado, and Coda became the Storm, and Dylan Morrison ransacked through best trick and did all his web edit tricks first try. Yeah, that was a crazy trip. Shout out my mom for really getting me out there because I didn't really have a sponsor at the time.
Dude, I wish they would have held the finals at Rush again so I could have gotten the chance to go. That park looks so fun and flowy. Also, from what I can tell, it's set up great for spectating for competitions. That was definitely the first time I remember hearing your name, and I can remember watching little you and little Cody Flom out there shredding with the big dogs. I think that 2014 World Finals was a major turning point in scootering because it almost feels like that was the first time the whole sport, everyone from all different countries and walks of life, came together and really put on a show for those in the outside world. Even if you didn't ride a scooter, I feel like you could just sense the energy and atmosphere in the building and know that this sport was going to be the next big thing. But damn, dude, 4 or 5 times? That's impressive. I really hope to see you at the next 4 to 5 World Finals here in the future. What was it like to qualify first in semifinals for Nitro World Games in 2017, and what tricks got you to that spot?
Bro, thank you for asking this question because this is like one of the best things that's ever happened to me. Yeah, to qualify first in the semifinals, I landed a triple flip and then I did a double front flip bar twist. And yeah, that got me some score of like 17 something and put me in first place. And all I could think about was just like, man, I better be able to do this tomorrow. And I wasn't able to, but I don't really care. I beat R. Willie once and that's all I care about. Shout out Ryan for being the best Mega Ramp rider ever.
Bro, I remember how stoked you were after watching you land those tricks, and I definitely had to throw that question in there. It undoubtedly had to be one of the best moments in your scootering career so far. Nowadays, we're seeing triple flips thrown up on Instagram, but did you guys know that Nolan was actually one of the first 5 people to stomp it? If I can remember correctly, I think he was actually the 4th person in the world to get one done. You can hear the stoke in his voice as he's rolling away, and as a person whose whole life is spent searching for that moment in time, it's really awesome to see so much hard work pay off. Now to the other trick. Something that has been done once, and I'm pretty sure only once, a double front flip bar twist. This caught everyone and their mother off guard, and I don't really think people had time to process how hard of a trick this really is. Watch as he launches the first flip, spots where he's at in the air, throws the bar twist, then continues to rotate the second flip and land perfectly. Nolan, my dude, you are truly a one-of-a-kind rider, and the diversity and difficulty you've brought to the sport will never be forgotten. Describe how your style has evolved from the making of your Welcome to Micro part back in 2015 to now in your Nolan Shoemaker 2021 video.
Man, yeah, my style has definitely changed a lot from filming from that micro video to filming from this most recent video. I mean, you can see there's only like 2 clips out in the street, I think maybe even 1 in that micro video. And then I think it's the opposite for this last video. I got like 1 clip in the park there. Really, when the pandemic hit is when I started riding way more street because they closed all the skate parks in my area and couldn't even ride the skate parks. It was whack. So I got out in the streets and I just started finding spots around my house, and there was way more stuff than I had even realized. You know, growing up, you see all these things and you're like, I can't ride that. And then you get a little bit older and your perspective changes and you look at it like, oh, that's a sick spot. I could actually get down on that. Then after I posted like a couple edits, like Insta edits, just like at spots and everything, me and Daniel had gotten in touch and he told me to come out to Arizona and make me a part, and I went out and we made AZ Heat, and I swear we've been filming ever since that day.
Well, first off, I'd like to point anyone who hasn't seen either of these videos to the comment section below so you can see the change for yourself. When your Welcome to Micro part came out, you were just another one of those California park rats that got a big name sponsor and decided to go out and film a banger video. Since then, you've really gotten down to the roots and made your riding speak for itself. The pandemic was a blessing in disguise for all of us park rats. It forced us to get out into the streets and continue to do what we love because all the parks were being closed for quarantine. I find it so interesting watching riders switch up their styles, especially ones like you who switch it up and commit to it so fast. Bringing park tricks to street spots has always been super enticing to me because it's not something you'd normally see or expect. I think you're a great advocate for this discipline, and I loved watching you putting your own twist to it. The parts you have made since first linking up with Daniel will go down in scootering history. The dynamic y'all have is one other riders should look to for inspiration. We're all amazed at the rider you've transformed into, and we don't want the footage to stop anytime soon. Can you explain what the move to Lucky has been like, and what made you decide to choose them over any other company?
I mean, there's definitely a lot of things that came into play when it came to me joining forces with Lucky, but I mean, how could you not want to be on such an established company that's done so much for both sides of the sport throughout like their entirety of their existence? Even growing up, I was always a huge fan of Lucky and what they've done for the sport, and I've been friends with the dudes on their team for years and years now, so I'm really excited for the future, and I can't wait for you guys to see what we're gonna do.
Well said, bro. I honestly think when you made the move to Lucky, it caught a lot of people off guard. I mean, how could Nolan be joining a team full of insane park riders like Cody Flom and John Marco when all he's been filming on recently is the streets? Like Nolan said, Lucky has been around for so long and has made a huge effort to give back to both sides of our sport. Even though most of you may think of Lucky as this park-oriented team with 4.5 wide decks, they actually have had some pretty legendary riders representing them while continuing to focus on the street side of the sport. I'm just stoked a company has finally stepped up and is treating you like the pro rider that you are. Lucky has been around forever, and as long as they keep linking up with riders like you, I don't see that changing anytime soon. How does it make you feel to be nominated as one of the top 10 riders of 2021?
Man, I was so honored to be on that list of names at the end of the year. Coming off a hard year, putting in work with Northern and Affinity, filming for videos, trying to, hit spots that aren't always hit, trying to find spots, new spots, It's a hard process, and I enjoyed every bit of it, and being on that list just made all that work a little bit more worth it. Hopefully we have another good year this year and make that list again,
Being on that list is something that many scooter riders cannot claim. You definitely should be honored to be up there with that list of guys because you've put in all the work and you 100% deserve it. All 2021, you were grinding, dropping parts, posting on Insta, making it out to all the street jams you can. I'd honestly be disappointed if I didn't see your name up there. 2021 was a huge year for you, and the only person who made it happen was yourself. You are truly one of the best riders our sport has ever seen, and I hope to see you up on that list again next year. Who knows, you might even take the dub. What current projects are you working on that you can share with us?
Yeah, so for current projects, I actually just started 2 more not too long ago. So we finished off 2021 by taking a trip up to San Francisco to start another Affinity video. And then just a few weeks back, I took another trip to Phoenix, and we started filming for more Northern stuff. So y'all better keep those eyes peeled and get hyped.
Northern and Affinity have both been huge backings in putting out great scootering videos. It's so good to hear you have stuff in the works with both of them, and I know we all can't wait to see it. With you in front of it, and Daniel and Anton behind the lens, we truly can't be disappointed with the final product. It's amazing to see companies bring people together that maybe wouldn't have met if things were different. All I know is that every time Nolan steps in front of the camera, you better expect the unexpected. Any last words or shoutouts you'd like to give?
Huge shout out to Brian and Marlene, the owners of the Shop Pro Scooter Lab, for being my first ever sponsor. I don't know where I would be if I never got sponsored by you guys. Also, huge shout out to my mom for really being my first ever sponsor and getting me all those parts before I got hooked up and taking me to places before I had sponsors that could hook that up. I really appreciate it, and I love you guys. Shout out Northern Limited and Daniel Cardenas. I love you, bro. This year's gonna be sick. Shout out John Radke, Chris Gascoigne, Ride Affinity. This year's gonna be sick. Shout out Cole Gregg, Lucky Scooters. This year's gonna be sick. Let's go. Also, I want to give a shout out to you, bro. Thank you, Wyatt Brown, for taking your time to do this for our community. I really appreciate it, and I think everybody in the community does. This is super sick and something that scootering has needed for a long time, bro. So, huge shout out to you, and keep grinding and doing your thing, man.
Damn, thank you, bro. I really appreciate that last part. But for real though, shout out the shop, shout out Affinity, and shout out Lucky. They have all made great decisions by choosing you to represent their brand, and everyone can see that. The biggest shout out goes to your mom though. Without the support of our parents or loved ones, most riders would not make it to where they are today. Backing your loved ones who ride any action sport is so influential, and you truly never understand the impact that can have on someone's life. Nolan, it has been such a great interview, and you really have set the tone for everyone else to come share their memories. To everyone at home, thanks for tuning in and showing your support for the main man Nolan. I hope to see you all again next week on Pro Peak.